kale muli mutya bannange, muli mutya? Ntuuse munywanyi wammwe, ntuuse omunywanyi wammwe, omwagala wammwe. Muli mutya mwenna abali ku peegi zaffe wano? Bane mulaba mutya? Sseggirinya waffe akyali mu kkomera, naye Mukama katumusabe kigendererwa kya Sseggirinya mu struggle kituukirire, amuyambe. Sitaani kyamwagaliza kibe ekisumuluzo kya Honorable Sseggirinya mu New Uganda, kubanga Nelson Mandela senga teyagenda mu kkomera bo balowooza nti baali bamusibye baali balowooza bamusibye n'ebisumuluzo babisudde mu nnyanja, naye bugera okufa enkya nga yabanunula nabo. Kati suubire nti Sseggirinya waffe abasiraamu nga bwe mugamba nti Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fawale kwe tugamba nga Mukama bw'ali omulamu, amukole ki, amugulire ekkubo eddene erisinga eryo lyalimu. Kakati tugenda kukola discussion wano, tugenda kukola political discussion. Iba ne peni yange bwekkalaamu eruwa abadda ngiina nnono, ngiina wano saagala nnyo okugenda mu forum. Njagala oleete ekibuuzo mbadde njagala kukola ku discussion olwaleero, kubanga sayidi y'e Bunyoro eno yerinaanye ku front ezimu embi ennyo ezinaanye Congo, naye abannaffe Abanyoro Kitala beebase. Omanye Bunyoro Kitala erina issues ne Buganda for many years. Erina issues ne Buganda for many years. But I think in the new people power dispensation, this issue is going to be solved once and forever. Omanyi bali abakudividinga mu divide and rule, abamu tebaategeera history yaffe. Kati nga ffe twakamala mu Buganda emyaka 105 ffe baakasangwawo, naye bwe tuva e Buganda tugenda e Bunyoro families, nze nubabuulira olunyiri lwaffe lutambula, ne tugenda e Bunyoro mu Kitala. Ne tuva e Bunyoro Kitala, abamu ne basambula ne bagenda e Mpololo. Mpololo was one of the great, oba yali kingdom oba yali ki, nawulira nono omusajja lwabachwezi, simanyi lwabashaizi oyo yadduka ali e German akyogerako. Ne tugenda e Mpololo, ne tuva e Mpololo ate family zisigala. Ne tuva e Mpololo ne tugenda e Kiziba mu Tanzania. Ne tuva e Kiziba ne tukomawo e Buganda. Family zitambula naye ziri zaasigayo gye twazaalibwa to this day, ne zigenda e Sseerinnya, Kooki, Byakabanda. Kyova ne jjajjange jjajjange asembayo baamuziika mu nnyo kabaka we Kooki yasembayo okuva kuwona aliko, twaliko naye nno nawali musajja yanyamba nnyo ono nga nakatuuka mu America. Wena munyumiza story yo n'aseka nnyo, nanyamba nnyo kabaka we Kooki oyo wangi mwebakodi. Jjajjange, ennyumba ya jjajjange mwe baaziika kabaka we Kooki. Ate ne tutambula Masaka, Kiwanga, ate ne tukomawo Ekiwuliriza. Ne bali abatudividinga, nina kyejaga okubabuulira lwaki mbagamba bino. baya batudividinga mu divide and rule kati nga njogera nnyo ku musajja oyo atenyi bya Ruhanga omutima omubi gwayina omusajja. I hope God forbid bya Ruhanga oyo atenyi attayo ku muntu ne bamukwata bulungi bati ne bamuwanika kalabba ng'enseera ettima lyayina kubanga bano abatusalasalamu bawoza tetumanyi history waffe. Kakati nze ndaba ndi Muganda ne buli wamu wendi buli wamu wendi Muzicweze empire gyendi Bunyoro Kitala gyendi. So are so many Ugandans in the region. Analyzing people power, about people power. We are going to build a new negative. We hope to build. We are going to build a new country and a new region. Etali tribalistic, etali mu war, etali mu famine, etali mu backward, etali mu chichi. I'm so sure mchenjogera kubanga nze as of now ndaba a paining defeat. Omuntu omwayinza okumbuuza mutako kweta wano Okili David, discussion in English discussion in English, please make some people think our NP is Buganda agenda. No, it's not a Buganda agenda. But because I am a political analyst and I used to have a television, I don't know what happened, station there, but I always come and make a discussion in Uganda. But I'm going to try and make it in English. But sometimes when I go in English, some of the people don't understand me. Okay? But I want you to ask. I was trying to tell the audience today that we have a discussion. I want you to bring your comment, your questions about the issue of Bunyoro Kitala. Because Bunyoro Kitala is so quiet and it's very important in the liberation struggle. Now the northern part of Uganda, like has shown Karamoja is no longer with Museveni. It's now fighting for its survival in the new Uganda. It has come to the light of knowing that things that Museveni has been doing in northern Uganda are not in their favor. Now Gulu actually is gone. Now we are waiting for Bunyoro Kitala. This time we are concentrating on Bunyoro Kitala and its importance in the liberation of the struggle, because the pending war, one of the areas of the pending war is right there, the next door to Bunyoro Kitala. But we don't see anything that they are doing or they are working on to make sure that they are mobilizing to join the struggle. Because this struggle to stop this Museveni and his Muhoozi project is a national issue. The takeover of Uganda, okay, the diminish of democratic ways or principles as a country. Now we are going in one party rule. If you don't work hard, we are going in one backward economic rule, military rule, and everything. Unless we do something as a country, that's why we come here and we discuss with people. What are we going to do? What are the ways that people power is going to do that is totally different from Museveni in each region, but as one country? So you can ask me a question or you can bring your discussion. We can discuss it. I've given it to you this time. It's going to be your forum. Bring questions. Mr. Okili David, bring your questions, bring your discussion, and then let's see what we are going to do. First of all, let me tell you what it is now that I when I begin a forum, I always begin with comments that all myself think that they are important. People don't understand the role of a political analyst in a liberation struggle. The experience a political analyst have to analyze for a leader of a party or a president. Like you see, look at Tamale Miron. That's exactly what he's doing. Tamale Miron is a very, very clever fool, turns around things like that in favor of betraying his own people and his own country, like this. So a political analyst always comes out and defends his candidate, his people, and his country. That's what I do. It's a very important job. Me, I am munyanko naye sifuddeeyo. Eyo n'agamba nti ye munyanko naye tafuddeeyo. So now people don't understand. What does this man always come and tell you? I come here and speak on behalf and analyzing on behalf of the National Unity Platform on all the live television that I'm on even today. The Segirinya, the Choto, the JB, live. So now let's talk about Manstein. Manstein was one of the most clever field marshals during Second World War. There was not a one person that fought wars for Adolf Hitler in his try for the conquest of the world. Manstein. I want one time you to go and read about Manstein. You'll be surprised that this man had an extraordinary ability as a general. Manstein yayina ekirabo ngo omuntu matakiina. His ways of thinking. That's why I took so much time reading about these great people like Manstein. He was working for the victory of Germany and was working for his boss, Adolf Hitler, an evil man. But that was his job. That the way I see things is totally different from what other people see. When I come here, I give my views on behalf of what I think Uganda needs to do, and I think what people power is best to do after Museveni is kicked out of power and his son. So that's what they call a political analyst. People come out. I want to bavayo, ne analyzing. They are very important people. Tebenoonyeza byabwe. Nabo nange gwolaba. Ndi musibe. Even me, I'm in captivity. Even me. Unless I support a winning candidate who has been elected by the people and who has the mandate and the flag of the country now. Who is Robert Kyagulanyi? I'm not going to be free. If he gives me a token in the new government and says you're a great man, you're a young man, or you because I'm now 57, he says, oh, on the experience you have and what you have done in the struggle, I'll give you something so that you work in the government, because I would like to serve my country in the best way possible and bring in my idea and my long experience into a new country, not to come and make some money. Here in America, I already have enough money. I already have enough money. So, but I don't want to come in a country. Oh, no, they have come to eat. No. And let me tell you something. It is. If Museveni was a very great warrior, like he thinks that he's invisible, that bogus man that is invisible, why did he have an international political wing? The Kiseka, the Amambabas. They were there. The Rugundas, Ndugu. They're all there. So many of them. Because you cannot function as a liberation movement unless you have an international political wing that does its political work. It's a very sensitive part of the liberation struggle. That's why this man is spending millions of dollars each day sending spies all over the world. But let him come here. We are here. This is our country, and we have the right to exist as Ugandans in a better society. For every part of the country, there will be development. So now I've finished that. Now, what should we do as Ugandans? Do the way I see things. I've already made recommendation. Not only some people say that when I come here, I always focus on our president Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu. No, I analyzed for him, but I also focus my attention to other liberation movements because there are so many in the diaspora and in Uganda. Unless we agree on status quo in Uganda, but if we don't agree, then we must form one liberation movement. Uganda. Yasser Arafat, for the record, I don't support terrorism and I don't support Yasser Arafat, but I'm quoting him for the record. In his journey to power, Yasser Arafat had problems. They were fighting a liberation war, but they could not advance their cause to the highest of the limits until they reached somewhere where they could be a free country. His achievement brought the Palestinian people to somewhere. But because of his mistakes, things went wrong. Yasser Arafat, for the record, I don't support him, but I've been studying him very, very well. The first thing he did, he said, the only way to go forward as Palestinian people, though he had a liberation movement, but is to bring together all the Palestinian liberation movements. Nti Uganda bonna byali mu liberation struggle. Tuteeka okukaaminga nti oyina ekibiina, yes, naye tujje wamu mu liberation struggle. And we must form a council where you have a delegate seat and you are represented. That will solve our problems. It will give us unity. It will give us one voice. It will give us the way forward. That's what we have to do. We cannot sit. We cannot sit. We cannot sit and see the young man, Muhoz, with his brutality, bashing out parties of celebration that now in a military uniform that have taken over the government now, because now he has taken over. I've been telling you people that have been listening to me for the last 1 year that now Muhoz is in power, and this Aman Babazi is one showing him how to go about the government issues. But are we going to allow the country to be in turmoil like that? Yes or no? Tetusobola kutuula wansi ng'ensi yaffe egenya. Ate Kiseka yabagamba mu katabo ke ke bayita Munnayuganda mu buwaŋŋanguse, yakugamba nti teweebakanga ng'ensi yo eri mu busibe. Ensi yo ng'eri mu busibe teweebakanga. Never sleep when your country is in captivity. That was Kiseka. You know, Kiseka got me out of jail in 1990. I was in a very bad situation, but he got me out. He was a good man. He got me out of a terrible jail, fighting for this country. I've not begun fighting for this country today. No, we have been fighting since 89 when we saw things were turning. Because for us, we saw Museveni by 89 when he started turning like this, anti-clockwise. We said, this man, because he's a very clever man, he says, no. When we got out of when I got out of trouble, he said, oh, but we have a new constitution coming on. To the constitution, yeah. You people, you're saying that I'm doing this and this and this, but we are going to make a new constitution. Now let's begin with the draft constitution. We all sat behind, and I said, let's watch at the Odoki draft constitution, which said 72%, 75% of Uganda said Uganda should go under federation. And then, when the draft was finished and the Constitutional Assembly was on, then this man, so clever, he makes his own constitution. This man, Museveni. We were showing people that, look, this man is doing, is doing this and say, the reason I'm doing this, I want you to give me all the powers so that I can transform this country into a better country. That is Museveni. Mumpa obuyinza buno mu constitution nze nkyuse Uganda so that I can transform, because I have fought for this country. I've found the problem for this country. The problem was sectarianism, was colonialism, was this. He would come out with speeches and you all would be happy that this is the right man. Kumbe was fooling the country and taking it down into the ditch where it's going to take some 10 years to come out to a modern world. So now let's talk about colonialism. Seven always talked about colonialism. When the British, let me tell you, I've made an observation even here in America. It's a disease. People that come out of another country to come here and work. Because the high rate of unemployment, which was caused by both bad politics and economic policies in Africa, where we have a lot of materials and raw materials and resources, the people play cards. Omanyi omuzungu bwe yali akolonizinga omuddugavu yamukolera akakodyo, nze nakano nakazuula, yamukolera Chinese, kyova ajjajjange nawuma enjalampa yankuba nankuba mukadde oli yali anjagala yansanga azanya Chinese mumita Chinese ono Chinese oyo dai simanyi je simanyi nankuba nimugezi jjajja onkubide nangati toddangayo kuzanya Chinese. Omuzungu bwe yali akolonizinga omuddugavu okumuteeka wansi yamuleetera Chinese cards, zino cards. Sawa nnyo azuukuka n'akolako obulimu ne bagenda ne batandika okuzanya cards, and their mind become very busy ng'ensi yaabwe egenda. Lwaki ndese ekintu kino? Muhoozi ne Muhoozi project babyaluhanga atenyi bakola zipate abantu bagendayo. Ono mutabani wa Bidandisali, mitani wa Bidandisali oyo baby cool benyenyi simayani bagenda bakola party basiruwaza abantu bakolera party mwe mujjemu tubakolere bipate tubalaga omukulembeze omupya agenda okubba obulu n'okutta na Uganda mwe mwenjoyinge nga eggwanga balitwala. Zezo cards zezimu zembagamba omuzungu ze yazanyira ku bwongo bw'omuntu, era tujja kuzirwanyisa. Mukama yagaba obulamu ate yabujjawo, abalisigalawo balinyumirwa Uganda empya, naye we cannot sit. For the record, you shall not sit, and we are telling it you openly. Muhoozi ne group ye ya project, we are telling them openly, each part of the country must resist this takeover of the country. It's undemocratic, unprincipled, unwarranted for, and seconded by any Ugandan people. If you second that project of Muhoozi, then you are wrong. Kyetujja ne tubalaga kiki tugenda okukola era Uganda egenda kufaanana etya. What is the difference between Museveni and Muhoozi, and what is the difference between National Unity Platform, Uganda, and Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu over people power? It's totally wrong, the Muhoozi project. It's not modernizing the country, it's selling out the country. Now, let's sing a song, a small song, because at the end of the day, I've seen the Bujingo saying that this man is the one anointed by God. Let's see who God is with. Kamabulema kayimba kano. Tutamufukuza amba, 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 iyo, amba, tutamupiga amba. Museveni amba, tutamupiga amba, iyo, tutajifuga amba, amba, Oh, amba, iyo, amba. Be ready to sing that song. Go just kuyimba nga buyimbi. Nti mwabavubuka kana kayimba kamwe. Tutajifuga. Abamayo kuyimba muyiye akayimba ako. Amba, iyo, amba, tutajifuga. Uganda, tutajifuga. Amba, tutajifuga. Amba, iyo, amba, tutajifuga. Amba, tutamufukuza. Amba, iyo, amba. Akaude. Let's see which side is going to win this struggle. Tulabe abanyayimba akayimba abavubuka aba Museveni abatemu oba abavubuka bannayuganda bonna abanyigiriza manya abanyigirizibwa akayimba ako bakaita amba gwamanya okuyimba oluyimba ng'okayiiya jaga okawula okampeereze wano amba amba iyo amba tutajifuga tutamfukuza tutamupiga amba iyo amba tulabe ani agenda okuwangula kino. So now let's talk about creating jobs because it's very important in the new political dispensation and economic dispensation of Uganda. The Museveni era and the Museveni policy. Let me first show you this one. I saw this morning or yesterday. I saw this. I saw this Anite. Anite, I think, will go to jail for mismanaging the country for I think 1,000 years. So, Jaga Kwagawano, I think I saw Anite here. Anite, where are you, Anite? Anite. So, Anite, I'll see it later. But as we are talking about, so Anite said that the coffee deal, because of the big uproar of the country, is invalid. A week ago, people were saying, "You people, you are oppressing us so much. You're telling us you are fighting poverty and undevelopment in the country, but you are giving away our resources." Now, this is a newspaper, Monitor newspaper. You can see it. I don't talk things that are not there. Anita Rebel's coffee processing deal with UVCC invalid. So a week ago, they were saying the Anthony General, the Solicitor General, everyone had agreed on the deal. A week later, they are saying it's invalid. But they are telling us that they are creating jobs and wealth in the country. And people are supporting them. So I talked about the people power policy, the way it's going to do this coffee deal in Uganda so that people get money. The coffee processing plants or factories through unions or individuals, okay, are going to be to be supervised by the governments of their area for efficiency, accountability, and taxation. But they are going to be responsible by themselves to come and look for the market. I'm going to tell you that we had about 3 weeks ago, we had a conference here in Boston. I went there and checked on and I talked to so many people. These people, the Bangamba, they were coming all over the world. They were selling coffee all over the world. Some of them were dealers and some of them were factories from as far as Thailand, Cambodia, Vietnam. They were coming here. When you come and you find a buyer, he'll give you guidelines and specifications of the coffee. Otherwise, you bring it here, you lose. all the government has to do in that country is to see how many tons of coffee you took out and how much is the taxation that you must pay to government. The people power way of doing things is going to be totally different, which is the capitalist system, that the people must own the resources and the wealth of the country, not the government. These people's way of doing things, but I'm 7 engagement community now, which is now Vorongo to Mbiraba. Today they are saying now, even before he came to government, the way coffee was being sold was sold by this man, who the northern Uganda man that brought him problem. Kamubabu Yono Gundi yani Oito Joke. Oito Joke. So Oito Joke was responsible for selling coffee all over the world. And the reason why Oito Joke fell out with Obote was the $80 million that he refused to give part to Obote. That's why he was killed. So, Takati, someone must own the resources of a country as an individual against all other people, so that the government and the people in the government can control the resources of the country. No, the people way of doing things, they get a kubandala. Coffee mumuina, this is the agreed price that you are going to pay in taxes. There are two types of taxes. The government in your area, so for example, it's in Bunyoro, in Buganda, in Busoga, in Ankole, in Bugisu, it's going to retain taxes. And then there are other taxes that are going to go to the bigger government. The rest is your profit, so that you get money. That is capitalism. Hakati mbalaba boke nyini kenyini bobe benyini beyekuba. Twale kugamba wiki zozona your policy is wrong. Kamba we example ndala. Omebawoza abasajja bano buli muntu musi utajja kuba counterbalance kuba bayine mundu bajja kukutta. Mujje wano munzite. He come here. I'm here. Lubowa Hospital. Lubowa Hospital. Waliwo emitawado ya controversy in the Lubowa deal, Lubowa Hospital deal. There were controversies in Lubowa Hospital. Even big argument. Today, what are they saying? Today, what are they saying? There's Anita himself, there's no even contract on site. But people were saying, let's go into the real process. They say, no. Government has okayed this. It must go ahead. The deposit was given out in dollars. The money vanished. What happened? The inquiries, I don't know, it was the last parliament of Canada. We don't know what happened. Now we are in another date, because this money was borrowed or was taken from the coffers of the government, and someone made a deal how to get it out. Deal, it vanished. That's how they are running the country. That's why we need a change. And I'm going to tell you the way forward for the change, and why we must participate in the liberation struggle. Byo tebikyayiko kulimba. Ntate kwekerera. Tebikyayiko kulimba. Kwekerera ng'embeera agiraba ebyo biri gyali. Now, what is this girl peeling mask on Eric Panet? They're clever lady. It's in the papers. That's why I quote Monitor. Monitor tries to give you a hint. Who's responsible for getting out and hiding resources for the big bosses? Everyone. They steal the resources because they are controlling the resources, and then they have to take it out and put it in their banks all over the world. Ensene bagirekange ekaaba. Nezo zonna sente zijja kuvaayo. Sente zozo zijja kuvaayo. Abantu bajja kusibwa ne banadduka. Let me give you an example. Recently I was seeing a case of this Angola first daughter. The Angola leader who was there for a long time. His son made a deal, and his daughter was responsible for taking out all the wealth of the country. I don't know why they need so much wealth. So she thought that all the money was not being controlled and being looked upon by the international community, especially the FBI and the CIA. There's no penny you can hide in this country, anywhere, without these people knowing. So these people on the end, they said, look, hey, now your father is gone. Now you have this money. These are billions. These are millions of dollars. Hey, we are going to take you to courts of law. We are going to put you to jail, and we are going to seize the money. At first, he said, no, 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 no. So in the end, he says, look, either I vomit what I stole and get freedom, or they lock me up and take the money. That's how what they did to Mobutu. So all these people that say that they're stealing the money, Mwababa sent Zegwanga, don't think you are going to run away with this money. No. And let me tell you something. If you think exile because you've stolen a lot of money is good, let us tell you, for us who are here, we long home. We long home. We long to go home. Twagajo kugenda eka. Nega mbabulire. Idi Amin before he died. The last 4 years, he was writing to Museveni and telling him, President Museveni, allow me to come back to Uganda. But Idi Amin went out of the country with 7 billion in 1979. 7 billion. By then, when we talked about billions in 1979, it was like all the money in the whole world. When you come in America, billions is nothing. I'm here. I'm telling you, here billions is nothing. That's why we are fighting for a capitalist system. As you see America, that's why we are fighting Uganda to be as America, where money, wealth will not be a problem to you. Health care. So, kakati, Idi Amin Museveni yamubuuza nti lwaki oyagala kudda mu Uganda? N'amugamba nti the reason why I want to go back to Uganda, nti I miss home. Akalo, muogo, embuzi. You know, these northern people have a way of eating their stuff, even Abanyoro. So, Abanyoro bakwata ne bamixinga ennyama y'embuzi mu binyeebwa. I don't know how they call it in Bunyoro. And then they enjoy it. That's what Idi Amin was missing. So you people, you think that you are going to steal the coffers or the money of the country and the wealth of the country and put bogus companies and names to keep all this wealth of the country and the land in your overseas accounts and holding companies. And you are going to go overseas and enjoy it. I think you are wrong. Kino kibabuulira. Nze mbabuulira nti abalowooza nti ebweru walungi nnyo. The best way is to create your own country to be like ebweru. The best way of ebweru is to create your country to be like ebweru. That's why we are fighting this struggle. So, now, together ku Bunyoro Kitala. Nanka Banyoro banywanyi bange. Kakati, nalabye two things. Museveni's policy. One is the Sango Bay in Masaka Mutukura area, where they have given out land. On this present day, the world is fighting climate change. You are cutting that area where we used to go. We used to go to school in primary and say, oh, the largest area of growing sugarcane in Uganda, Sango Bay. Everyone knew it in classes was Sango Bay. Now Museveni comes and fights to liberate Uganda and make it a modern world. Is cutting Sango Bay and it's going to grow ebinazi. And you know what he said of growing ebinazi coconut trees? So that Uganda can have cheap soap. Now that's where we are going. The second one is evacuating people in the land of Bunyoro and forcing Bunyoro, because they don't have revenues, and then lease out a land the big forest, is it Bugoma? I used to go there in Bunyoro. That forest, it has been cut down. People, thousands and thousands of people have been evacuated. The reason why they are doing this is either to give it to a foreigner or themselves behind to possess it and their families forever. Boba kifunemu. Kambawe Bunyoro. Bunyoro is one of the most gifted area in Uganda. Ina ebintu ebisinga. Ina mafuta, ina minerals, ina copper, ina buli kimu kiri Bunyoro awo. Elisa be bamawo gikola. Nibaga nti awaliwo gold, awaliwo copper, awaliwo kino. Bonga bajja kubanga bali mu government nga bagamba nti mubwave mwina mwe mukkirize ono muzungu avudde ebweru. Government has sanctioned it and leaves it to him for 99 years. That's what they have done in Bunyoro. And the kingdom of Bunyoro has agreed to sign this agreement. That's why I came here. That Abanyoro banywanyi beitu mwebereremu. Look at the people power policy and join the liberation struggle. Removing Museveni and his son and his cronies from the government of Uganda and the territory of Uganda from the powers of the country must involve everyone in the liberation struggle. This is no longer a joke. The people power policy, first of all, for let's go to Bunyoro. That every federal state, because this cannot come into law unless it has gone through a referendum. The policy that we wrote down, the people power wrote down for a new Uganda, is going to pen a referendum for the whole country. Do you want this all the political dispensation? Do you want this military dispensation? Do you want this economic dispensation? Do you want this dispensation, the police, everything, or do you want this one? Mwaganga mwebagaga wa mwaga government yebe ngagga nga yebawa. Mwaga government yebeba kuma oba mwaga abantu nga bebe kuma. Because in America it's we the people of the United States of America. When we say something, it's final. Listen, let me give you what happened here. Some people went to the judge in a court of law in America and say that keeping people under the mask is unconstitutional, and the people that are imposing it on the people of the United States of America have exceeded their limits, their authority, and the judge ordered it invalid. Overnight, it was gone. Because we the people, not the government. The government was saying no, for the safety of the country. The people said no, let's go to courts. The court sat down and said no, this violates our rights. The people have said no. Government, you have nothing to say. Deal cancelled. But in Uganda, if a government says, government yagambi, because they have the power. So the people power policy is to take away the authority of the government and give it back to the people. And give the wealth back to the people. The saying in the matters of the country back to the people. Everything. Now benyini abagamba nti kitu kirungi nje kwanga benyini bassa bali ku mugwa mundu. Nawo tebanza kyakwa bayingira bakada bayingira ekintu. So hakati nti ekisooka oil in a federal state, the oil, a part is staying in that federal state. The part. The other part, the revenues, including the owner of the land. Naoyo buli ayinamu oluzi. Ekyo nakinyonyola ku oluzi oluvaamu amafuta. Oluzi nga luli mabega wa nnyumba yo bajja kujjanga bajjemu oyo. Naye naawe ofunamu. Naawe okeera ku makya n'otuula ku mita wali n'ogamba nti ewange waavuddewo miliyoni namba eya bbalo. Endagaano yange gye nakola nfuna ssente bwezityo oba dola bwezityo buli bbalo efuluma crude oil afuluma ewange mu ttaka lyange. The another one goes to my state, Bunyoro. The other one goes to the government. And the rest goes into the oil funds for everyone Ugandan to benefit. Buli awali resources, kakati nkyali ku kya Bunyoro. Copper, titanium, so many raw materials. Bwenzi kusomera no oyinza n'okutya ekiri mu Bunyoro. Kyova nti bano buli balaba ekyobugagga nga baleeta olugezigezi ekyo tugera kulimawo ebikaado for 99 years, give it to that investor. Mwe Abanyoro mubagobewo abantu kubanga oli investor. Those arguments which shall change. There's another one that we are going to change of the Madivan. Is it Madivan or Meta that Museveni forcefully made with this man of Mengo who was Kurubia for 99 years? There's another there was an agreement. I was following it because I was talking to Kurubia. Museveni called him, you must sign this agreement. And Kurubia was telling him, no. This agreement, according to what we made with these Indians, is now invalid. Everything is mine. And Museveni said, no, you sign it to them. And he borrowed it for them from the World Bank, $80 million. I still remember that very well. Kegama omunimu gwa Museveni, that communist rebel, making sure Uganda. I think there's not an evil man in this world as President Museveni. That's why they must go. Tayagaliza muntu kufuna kaloko kasezi kalumba tutu ka Museveni awo. Nje kakuba for my country. It cannot be accepted that policy to go on with his son. Kakati abavuka bagamba nti we are securing your future. But your future is being sold and mortgaged to other people, foreigners, because they are going to grow sugarcane. Right now, the sugarcane that is being grown and processed in Busoga region is enough for the whole country. Why would they let such a land, beautiful land in Bunyoro, never government mugisayinge mugiwe for 99 years, but make ebikajjo. Mwalingamu emiti gy'embaawo, mwalingamu ebisolo byonna ebyabeeranga muli. Wakiwulira kati yabagamba nti securing your future. The people power way is totally different. Nti the raw materials in that area, like they themselves, now they are reading the people power policy when we come here and teach. Some people say you must keep quiet about the policy of people power. Let them until they go. No, because it's a people's war and it's people's revolution. They must know what we are fighting for and what they are fighting for, to be engaged and liberate their own selves and their families and their own country. That's why we come here. And they are reacting to the very issues that we are talking here. Look at Congo. They have stopped all the people that have been taking raw materials from Congo, and now they are going to use the very people power policy of Robert Kyagulanyi that we are going to build industries. Kenya, Uganda, Congo, Burundi, Rwanda, and Kenya. They are going to build industries in a joint venture system, in an authority, so that we extract the minerals, process them. If we need to sell, we sell them. If not, they are all for our industry, so that we can manufacture or sub-manufacture and sell to the market of the world and get the wealth and create jobs for ourselves, so that we stop insecurity. Because insecurity is caused by two. Radicalism against the Muslim was caused by the Muslims, is caused by discrimination and unemployment. Abasiramu tebakkirizibwa mu gavumenti, tebakkirizibwa mu magye, bakiggundu bo balina okuttibwa abavuddeyo. Kakati bwe bamulaba is an enemy. So kakati now they are taking over that what? I'm going to show you another one that they have taken over. Buli kye twogera wano bakwata bukwasi kalaamu na lupapula. Ate ffe nze kinnuma mu kino kyonna kankibabuulira. We as Ugandans, when a political analyst comes out and talks things like that, I think every politician must get a paper and write down. Why don't we? Because the government that we are fighting against is working more against what we are going to do. Because if we don't tell people what to do, the people will not know the difference between Museveni and the new Uganda. That the raw materials in Bunyoro, we said last time that there's going to be a big factory of car batteries, these modern electric batteries. The cheapest new battery for car goes for 6,000. Tesla. And we are going to build a factory for 4.9 billion US dollars in areas of around Fort Portal. There could be another one built in where? In Hoima or Masindi, that area. And even the forests, because the country is there for the people and the benefits of the population. There are small towns in these areas. You don't just come in the morning and tell people, 20,000 people, investor, government. No. There must be towns, small towns in these areas, schools, hospitals, people power policy. Mwabe Masaka, Sango Bay. Sikugamba nti muve mu kintu kino omusajja alimwe ebinazi byennyini ne mukubyocha kibeta processing ebinazi bino nabindi bisomako mu juzi mu ssomero wano wensoma ng'okuprocessing ebinazi damage ebikola ku environment gases nagamba katonda omugoba bino Museveni abiraba ebinazi ebyolaba ebyo okubifumba gases eliminating waggulu mu environment. So all this I'm telling you that the people power policies, there's not going to be an evacuation of people like that. No. Planting new trees, forests, but small towns to live in there because that's their land. That's where they belong. They are Ugandans. Where do you want them to go? But don't tell thousands and thousands of people. Muva ku ttaka lino ndiguziza omuntu omu a foreigner or two people because otafiira akinamu omukono abaana be n'abazzukulu balina okufuna. And you people from Bunyoro, the kingdom of Bunyoro, you're honorable, your worship agree on such a things. Look at the people power policy. Unless unite and remove the dictator from power. The whole front is just near across the border. Removing this man will involve an armed struggle. There's no hiding things here. Total democracy. There are no voting rights in the country. There's no democracy. The court system is NRM. The military is NRM. The police is NRM. The people are from Rwanda. The Rwandan people, for the record, are not bad. In the army. For us, when we analyze the problem of the country was sectarianism, that Tanzania should do the same. They can help in the region's stability. Why are you bringing in Tanzania and Kenya now? When the war of Congo started, he said that they are going to finish this ADF because it was his way of doing things. Kagame, Museveni, M23. Destabilize this region. ADF has done this. ADF has done this so that he gets a leverage for the international community to allow him to go to Congo. To build roads, to preempt the people power policy of getting raw materials from there for our great manufacturing proposal for factories in Uganda to create jobs. Because this issue of unemployment under people power is going to vanish. I'm telling you because it's well detailed. Preempt. Kanatu se Congo birenye batadeko access yokusatu. Kati bayise Kenya bayise ne Tanzania nezigenda Congo kurwana. Kambala de kitu kitu. I've been following this man. So stupid he is. My mind was that Museveni was so clever. Come up to let me give this one a cable. My mind was that Museveni is a very, very clever man. He's very invisible. Who told you? When we went out to analyze this man, this foolish man, Museveni is one of the most stupid, arrogant people. Nze muvuma. is one of the most stupid and arrogant people. But he's a leader. He's invisible. But again, this one is giving me a headache. I don't want to get it off. So you excuse me, people. So, kakati nze mbabulira ku Museveni. All 36 years his policy was, even them themselves say that the only way they could build up their socialist and try an era of the communist and socialist system in Uganda was first to build security. 36 years he was building security for his NRM and his beliefs in his ideology. What failed in the Soviet Union, what failed somewhere, must be brought in Uganda as a trial to see that he has achieved his long-time dream of creating a socialist system in Uganda where there was no tribalism. But he himself is a tribalist. He puts people from other countries in the army, in the police, in the finances. Other people are excluded. So, kakati ndoze bintu bino mubiraba nti yeye nyini kambabulire nze nadde ndaba leaders agree on regional force to fight DRC rebels. This is himself there. Leaders agree on regional force to fight DRC rebels. But inclusive here, you must read it. Go and read it yourself to and see that the regional governments must make sure that they settle conflicts and differences with the rebels that are fighting in these areas. Who brought this policy? For him, his ways of doing things was emundu. Use force. Now here he's saying, now we put up a regional force to fight this, but we must find a solution. For us, People Power gave a detailed way of going to solve this regional problem. Eya Basilamu, eya ADF, eya rebels of Rwanda, eya rebels. Katibali Kagame uya alintebe. Now he has come. Because their days are over. Mwebereremu bayidde bagamba tetusoboka kati bayidde kati Kagame azze teyabadde Kenya Kagame azze nze muyinga mbagoberera bo bagamba nti bino tutujjagira n'ennyonyi empya zetuguze tugende tuboominge Rwanda maye Kongo tubamaze twasse 10,000 aba ADF alone. Let me give you a military analysis of the situation. Abarundi bokka bangi abahutu bokka baava e Rwanda bayitirivu almost 800,000 people bali mu exile. They are Rwandans. So if you are talking about a military force, you cannot defeat them because they have the right to come back to Rwanda. You have to find a political solution of which People Power has. Kabagama nti Kyagulanyi yekka yajja okuva wano agende ne Kagame, because these are realities. These are not jokes. What is the problem? We shall sit in regional conferences, international conferences, and we see what is the best way to solve this problem, because the gun is not going to solve the issues of the region and stabilizing it. The issue of the Muslim is going to be solved once and forever. The issue of the tribes in the areas Bahutu, Rwanda, Bachi, and their dictatorship, because they themselves, they have created dictatorship in the region. Tebava ku buyinza kati abuwa mwana. So read about this thing in detail. You'll be surprised. I was reading it, that the regional areas must work and solve conflicts. If you yourself, Museveni, you have denied the people of Uganda democracy, even in a small election of Kayunga, no kabba, Kyagulanyi n'awangula okulonda in a bloody election by 52.9%, and you take out the victory from the people, but you are solving problems of the region, and you must give the leadership to either Muhoozi or I don't know how you call people, Munyankole. Oba yawasa muwala. They are the Rwabogo and Muhozi are the only people that are supposed to come out to an election ballot. Whoever knows how to convince people, the Ugandans, the captives, you either take us or there's no this. So mwaba wagira NRM mbalaba nakuno mwekuli mbawagira NRM. These things we are talking is for you and your grandchildren. Mwaba jiwagira kwanga some people support NRM because of their hatred of Baganda. Uli no byaruhanga just because Buganda. Instead of sitting down and see what is the problem. That's why we are going to have these conferences. What is the problem? What is the best way that we can live together and govern ourselves? We must learn as Africans how to live together. Fenna. Not together muwino fenna. Not together musaudi yako fenna. Tekitegeeza nti ono Muganda, ono Munyoro, ono Musoga, ono Mutoro, sijja kumugulako nyaanya. Wanga nzeetaaga. So instead of saying the diaspora, today waffe. Kati yagamba, kakati tugende ku sabuni. Sabuni. Omanyi Museveni ono. Agenda nayogera ebigambo. I think it's very old and stupid. But the reason I'm giving out Sango Bay, we have to create this coconut oil. And after we create the coconut oil, we are going to do what? We are going to have cheap soap. Sabuni. Let me talk about sabuni. How is soap made? Soap is made very evu, lye, fats. Katwogere ku ebibiri ekusooka. Ate twogere ne ku olive oil. If we are going to be exporting, because if you look at America last year imported worth $1 billion of soap and exported $500 million of soap. It imported $1 billion but exported 500. For example, olive oil. In Uganda, you can grow olives to produce olive oil. Nete lyakira bwaba kugaba nsi kugitunda bantu babba ku mataka bagabba. Our people power policy is going to be farming, produce olive oil, equip people, teach them, build small industries, and export to the United States so that they share this $1 billion. For us, we are going to be fighting. For example, if Uganda gets $200 million, the taxes, how many taxes are there? Because we are not going to be the only people exporting here. So these Congo areas, we can grow olive oil in the vast land that is there. Process the oil in our small industries and export. Because if we reach where we are going to be exporting, we are going to be making more money and creating jobs. That's why the new Uganda is going to be based upon small industries, sub-manufacturing, and manufacturing. Car parts, like Bunyoro. Everything they have that can manufacture aeroplanes is in Bunyoro. You look at the mills in Bunyoro. Right now, you are going to see these NRM people, because for them, they are after commission, so that he can live in a very big house and have $1 billion in his bank and drive the best car, and others look as trash. Our people power policy of Robert Chagwa is, how do we develop this country for everyone to benefit? Fats. Let's talk about fats. How are we going to get fats instead of degrading our own country? In the people power policy, it said very clear that we are going to encourage zero grazing and anti-Uganda okulunda ente. Every region, what the mbala, what the what. And then to make sure that abalimite babulwa katala abalunde ente, we are going to use the same policy that was used in Botswana. Nti abalimi bente, you are guaranteed the price of your meat. The fats that are going to come from the processing plants of the meat that is going to be exported all over the world, instead of degrading our forests to get coconut oil, we are going to use these fats to have soap. Kubanga evu mugera kulifuna, evu ogera kulijjawa. Embawo ezigera okuva e Congo, ate nga tuzimba ebipya, ebibira ebipya, bwetujja okukola okuzimba Uganda empya. Lino lyonna vvu ligera kukola bino. Very simple things. Okukola sabuni. N'ogamba nti ogoba abantu. Abamu kubanga Uganda kyafuuka kyoloni. Abamu bava Tanzania. Be babagobye awo. We babagobye. Ndoza nga bamaze n'obbasasula. Essente z'omuwi w'omusolo ennyingi. Abasinga batambudde badda Tanzania. Kubanga yewaabwe. Our borders are not enforced, are not controlled. They favor new immigrants in the country so that they are dissolving this baganda. Muleta abantu bangi nnyo okuva mu bitundu byonna mubawendanga muntu mugikuume nnyo webafunirendanga mune passport. Bano making sure muba neutralizing. Ettima. Eggwanga ne livunda kubanga oli alina ettima. Just ettima. N'abona n'akuba ekyeyo kubanga ali ku ttima. Okay, this soap problem, we are not only going to solve it for the Ugandan market or the regional market of East Africa or the Great Lakes region, even the markets of America. Our industries will be able to produce, people's industries, not government industry, will be able to produce very good. Remember, just sabun one. If you look at the market, I was looking at the market of India, how India started manufacturing soap and exporting it. There's a place here in Warsaw, after here I'm going there, where we buy soap. I can show you the soap we have. But the soap, sabuni gomina mu Uganda, abayindi gwe bakola ddimi lya ng'ombe, biki bakugu nnyo. Senga mbadde saala kuva ku live nandibaze ne tag. Ka sabuni katono bwe kati. Omuyindi akatonda $2 ne sente 19. Bwe kati. $2.19. Kakolewa mu kimu olive oil. Omanje kava India. Nekajja mu America. Fetake lya finance ya bajigaba bugabi. Nafuna ntwale wa Museveni. Tukatera embunda. Temwagitera mwe naffe twagitera. Tukatunga obwogirero. Ito ruhanga katua. Tukatera embunda. Tukatunga obwogirero. Bringing an enemy. When we fought the Bush War, we fought it Baganda, Banyankole, Banyarwanda. Other people came in later. There was no tribalism there. But now there's tribalism to Baganda, Muribabi. Baganda. And other people follow because of hatred. Funalero lesson yosome sabuni bamukola batya. Oya inokuwewa NC. The problem of rising prices in Uganda, the little small part is that war. But the problem was because of Museveni's policy. Najiba Gamba, I was telling you last time that I was looking at a debate that made Olanya be shot in the stomach. But these Mayombos and what the military people that's Olanya that was shot in Makerere University, what they were against the policies of Museveni of getting the heavy industry. Kwanga chilimu policy ya 10-point program. That's why I don't agree with the 10-point program that all the heavy industries must be controlled and owned by government as a policy. That's the socialist system. Nkebyobugaga, a factory is the nene. Zo zina kuba za government. Oba government what is sobola because of corruption. Then ziwewe abanamawanga. It's a policy. Olina ula tayagala people power. Abo sibagala kubanga Kyagulanyi Muganda. Kyagulanyi si Muganda. Kyagulanyi is Uganda. Ekyo nkiddamu for the record. Kyagulanyi is Uganda. That's why he was embraced by all people. Why buli muntu anyigirizibwa? Anyigirizibwa. So we must get away this thing. No, we must look at the benefits. Come on the council or representing Busoga. Come to the council representing Arua. It's going to be open debates and policy making. Toro, Bunyoro, Buchiga, come. Let's make the policies that will liberate our countries, because we must do a political solution for the country. So, mubirabe ebintu go favoringa ki erote ni Uganda abaana okuva buwazaalibwa engeri wakuwa teri kintu kinyiiza ekyo oli ali mukasiisa bwati omwana yapamye ne bakwata akakumbi obumbo bwa bbi. That is the way how we grew up. Edda abagala balina n'olugero luno mu nsonyi okulwogera ku TV kuno baagambanga ekintu kino nti nkomye kuyoola mazzi. That's a saying in Uganda. Ngolumbe lumayako abaana balemye mbatwale bajjajje buli mwana apama ne bakakwata akakumbi. We were born like that. At this age we are like that. But Muhoozi must come and we must continue like that. And the people power policy is let's redevelop the country again to benefit everyone. When I got Sibagala, I don't know what to tell you. Eh? Mutegedde agati nga maliza kire kiri kwasaaga kutwala budde wamu airtime wange mungi naye kambawulire. Muhoozi namulabye ayambadde obwa general we. I think he knows how generals surrender. I hope nti bwali basarendalinga nga bamuggyako enkofiira nga ne peps ne bamuweza ekikwanga. Oyo musajja akalina omumwa kabujinga akalina omumwa ng'ogw'emmese kalibeera weka tebaduse abantu bakubidde emiggo kubanga omwana omusajja bujingo mubi against the people of Uganda. Mubi ye buli bwalaba the opposite ye alina okusooka patriotic TV ne kajjayo omumwa we kati gulyango ogwakamese. I hope tubaye kuba emikka erikabiwedde. I hope mwebeeremu abanyotu bagamba mwe mulinaanyawo mwebeeremu. Otegedde? This is the Guardian newspaper. The Guardian newspaper. A shame for the world. Uganda fragile forest ecosystem destroyed for sugar. You people that are in the diaspora and are supporting Museveni, go and read this Guardian. A shame for the world. Ugandan fragile forest ecosystem destroyed for sugar. Kubanga an NRM official working with an Indian bamukula bano batafiire baagala abaana baabwe n'abazzukulu babalekera obugagga nga bafuna ssente. Bafuna ssente. Bino birthday choruses nti Muhoozi kati amaze okutuuka ku bukulembeze buli muntu weebereremu resistinge. Now it's a resistance, the final resistance to creating a better country. The nickel, copper, iron, ore traces discovered in Bunyoro. Ebyobugagga ebiri mu Bunyoro. Abe Bunyoro mwebereremu. Abanoza ni Uganda kati bakyuse mwebereremu. Busoga ya Uganda. Wiki ejja nja kukwata ku Tooro. Banywanyi bayitibwa Tooro, Nanka, Kijura, Kabende, Ifo. Tunula best yechua for insurgency in Karamoja. Nadi njaga kukyogerako mu kirabe. A people power policy detailed. The security system egero kube Karamoja. Zero grazing. Buli kintu kyonna kati ngezo facts zetunoonya ne factories zigera kuba side zezo kubanga every area that there is this cattle, how do you call it, cattle keeping, in areas. There are going to be factories where we are going to get fats for sabun, very cheap. And then olive oil, we shall grow in the country, even areas that are surrounding us, so that we get the olive oil for manufacturing soap that we shall export all over the world. So the people power policy is so good. But you are tired of people power policy. Don't support it because you don't like it. Support it because it's going to change your country so that you benefit. Obama Museveni Agamanti is a very clever man. Why is he panicking for himself to make sure that Olanya's son yatwala ekifo ye Olanya yenyini yamutta yamupajinga bakita paji kati bimutabukidde abakyoli n'abalango ndoze nyiba temunaziwulira babagambye nti lwaleero mujja kubawulira okitegedde lwaleero yes tulina okuyita mu lwaleero azaale lwanca. Our mission is prosperity, security for Africa. Museveni byayogera byabagamba n'abatanzania bonna babaleese kubanga they cannot cope up with the war that is removing them from power. Otegedde. So ebisigadde tujja kubyogera naye tusaba abanyolo nanka abanyolo olutabaalo lubaluli n'abanyi nanka Congo mwebereremu so that we create ourselves a better country and a better Uganda. So let it be. Oyagamba nti njogera bubi, so let it be. I don't care. This is my country. This is my struggle. Where I was at this binjogera sibitegera. You come here and make a live video. Now also message. Kubanga it's not about nti nze ndi bulungi ndya nywa abalala bali bubi. No. Mwebereremu abebunyolo mwebereremu tubasaba abanyolo banywanyi baitu mwebereremu. See you next Sunday. Ngenda kukwata ku tooro kubanga nze tooro nakolayo nnyo. Nakola tooro, kyamuhoro, kijula, kabende, ifonanka endiba biba mu katabo eyo nali manyiyo okuvya ddala Kiboga wumona abasajja nanka badoviko gye nasulanga nanka kyamuhoro mwagundi abanywanyi wange Muzafari eyo namanyiyo naye kagamba olita omusajja tojja kujja otulimbelimbe musigale wano tusigale mu bwavu kubanga this is not a Buganda issue. This is a Uganda issue. So we shall see next week. See you next time.